Hey guys, so I figured let's remake one of the most popular Michael Jackson rants that I did. This one, before deleting, got over 12,000 views, and even as a re-upload, it was pretty popular. Only thing is, the video is very poor quality, and there's also some information I forgot to put into it. And a lot of the comments on it were actually adjusting to that information. Things like, well, Matt, maybe he's lip-syncing because he's dancing so much. Did you ever think of that? Well, that's actually not the case, and I'm going to explain everything right now, starting from the beginning. Before Motown 25, Michael Jackson pretty much never lip-synced. Motown was the very first time he did on Billie Jean. If you recall, that performance also had a Jackson 5 medley, which was live. So why did he lip-sync Billie Jean? This is why I'm explaining this, because before History Tour, I believe that whenever he lip-synced, with the exception of award shows, I believe there was an actual reason behind it. For Motown Billie Jean, I believe the reason was because he wanted the performance to be perfect. He even said this himself. So he figured, well, if I lip sync, I can't possibly make a vocal mistake. And he's already mastered the dancing, despite the fact that he fucked up the toe stand, so he figured he would lip sync. We know this to be true because he lip synced Billie Jean on Motown and then didn't lip sync it ever again until History Tour. All Victory Tour Billie Jeans, Bad Tour Billie Jeans, Dangerous Tour Billie Jeans, all live. So for him to lip sync Motown, we know that it was just because he wanted it to be perfect. Moving on to Victory Tour, completely 100% live. Moving on to Bad Tour. The only things that were lip synced were on the second leg, not the first leg, and these songs are The Way You Make Me Feel, Man in the Mirror, Bad, and Smooth Criminal, because these four songs are very, very difficult. But even then, they were not fully lip synced. All four of them were live around the halfway point towards the end. Man in the Mirror, as you know, it's when he puts the arms out and goes, oh no, and then he'll start singing live. For The Way You Make Me Feel, I believe it was live towards the end when he would do more improv. For Bad, it was pretty similar to that. And for Smooth Criminal, I believe it was after the lean. Well, there was no lean on the Bad Tour, but you know what part I mean, like where the lean would normally be is where he started to sing live on Smooth Criminal. Otherwise, fully live. Dangerous Tour was about half live, about 50%. We know, looking at Dangerous Tour, it was again because there was a lot of dancing. For example, Jam, extremely dance-heavy song, so he lip-synced it. Want to be starting something live, Human Nature live, Smooth Criminal, dance-heavy, lip-sync. Then everything after that is live until we get to Thriller. This one I never really understood because he kind of just walks around a lot, kind of like Beat It, but either way, he did lip sync Thriller on Dangerous Tour. Then after that, it wasn't until he got to the last few songs where he was doing a lot of lip syncing, and yes, he was actually dancing less, but I would also say it's partly because it's towards the end of the show and he's probably really tired. Songs like Will You Be There, lip synced, Black or White, lip synced, Dangerous from '93, lip synced, although that is a dance heavy song. Heal the World was only live towards the end when the kids would come out, and then Man in the Mirror, as usual, half live. Moving on to History Tour. Now here's where it gets interesting. Scream, lip synced. They Don't Care About Us. That was lip synced, but he was live during the drill part. In the Closet, he was only live during the talking parts. Want to Be Starting Something, live. Stranger in Moscow, lip synced. Smooth Criminal, lip synced but live at the very end, just like Dangerous Tour. You Are Not Alone, fully lip synced up until the long heart notes, and afterwards, of course, he's able to sing not at all if he wants to because it's just an a cappella thing, right? The Way You Make Me Feel, fully lip synced. The Jackson 5 medley, fully live. It literally always is. The Off the Wall medley. The only thing that's live is at the very end when he goes, "Don't stop to get enough," and then points at the audience. Billie Jean, fully lip synced up until the very first moonwalk. Thriller, lip synced. Beat It. That one is lip synced, but he sings live towards the end around where the guitar solo is. Come Together and DS, fully lip synced. Blood on the Dance Floor, fully lip synced. Dangerous, fully lip synced. Black or White, fully lip synced. Earth Song, fully lip synced. Heal the World, same as Dangerous Tour, where he will only sing live once the kids come out. History, fully lip synced, but when he does the hoes, like when he runs to the other side of the stage, yells ho, those are of course live. Now, The first thing I want to point out for people who make these complaints going, he didn't get lazy on History Tour. Well, he actually did. Because you'll notice, based on the songs I listed, he only sung live when he literally had to. Here's a few examples. The talking parts in the Closet, because those are the girls' lines, so of course he has to sing them live. The drill, where there's no CD version of the drill, so he has to do that live. Wanna Be Starting Something is a heavy improv song, so he has to do that live. The very last line of Smooth Criminal, on the CD version, Smooth Criminal fades out. So if it's done live, it can't just fade, that would be stupid. So he sings that last line live. Billie Jean, well, Billie Jean is a transition song that goes into an ending dance sequence, which is obviously not on a fucking CD. So he sings improv after the first moonwalk into the ending dance sequence. Beat It is basically the same thing, where he sings live towards the end because, again, it's a fade-out song on the CD. Heal the World, well, he's got the children coming out, he talks to the audience saying, I love you. Of course, that's gotta be live. Jackson 5 medley, that's live like it always is, and I think the reason is quite simple to figure out. If he was actually gonna lip-sync the Jackson 5, wouldn't it be kind of dumb for a 35-year-old man to have the voice of a 5-year-old? Of course, they could adjust the pitch, but it would just sound and look stupid. When he does the Off the Wall medley at the very end of Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, the whole thing is lip-synced except the very end. Same thing as Smooth Criminal. On the CD version, the song fades out, but you can't have a fade out when you're doing a live performance, so he just simply does it live. And that's the thing about History Tour. He only sung live when he had to. And this is not a bad thing. I don't give a fuck that he lip syncs, and I never have given a fuck. For me, it's about his dancing. I'm just pointing out to people who have a hard time understanding this that he does lip sync. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, though. The next thing people like to bring up is, well, he's probably lip syncing because he's dancing so much. Meanwhile, he will actually sing live when he's dancing more. For example, Billie Jean after the first moonwalk. Yes, it's all improv, but he's dancing more at that point, but he sings live. Man in the Mirror, he starts off just standing there, and then as the song gets more and more intense with all the spins, he's dancing more, and that's when he sings live. Many of his songs are like this, where he will actually sing more when he starts dancing more. Just look at any song on History Tour or Dangerous Tour, with the exception of songs like Jam. The thing is, I can tell you the actual reason why he does this. The reason why... Man in the Mirror is a perfect example, by the way. The reason why he will sing live when the dancing begins is because when he's singing live, the overall song, like the verses and the chorus, are done. It's all improv. If you look at things like Billie Jean after the first moonwalk, Man in the Mirror once he becomes live, yes, he's going live and he's dancing more, but he's also improvising. This gives him the opportunity to sing when he wants to and also not sing when he wants to. Whereas when it's during the song part with the verses and the chorus, he has to do it. There's no option. He can't just avoid doing the fucking verses. So he lip syncs it. But once he gets to the improv portion, there's no obligation to sing. He does, because he does his improv thing, but he doesn't have to. He can take his time, put the mic down, and just do some dancing, randomly go, hee hee, put the mic down, do some dancing. It's all improv. So that's the real reason that he would lip sync certain songs and not lip sync others. That's also the reason that he got lazy on History Tour, and it's also the reason behind why sometimes he would sing when he danced more as opposed to less. And the final thing I want to bring up is that he always lip synced during award shows. Even in the late 80s, like for example the Grammys when he did The Way You Make Me Feel and Man in the Mirror, even that was lip synced. Well, The Way You Make Me Feel was lip synced and half of Man in the Mirror. But why was he lip syncing back in '88? I think even then it was maybe partially because he just wanted the award performance to be perfect, but throughout the 90s as well, he lip synced pretty much every single award show. But that's okay, I don't give a fuck. As long as you guys know what's lip synced, what's not, and the reason behind it, there you go.